There are two significant things that we want to say to you. The first is that through your desire you summon. So when you said it awakened in you, did it ever feel a bit out of control?
Extremely.
So the reason for that is you're asking for something more than you're ready to receive. And that's not uncommon. A whole lot of people do that in a whole lot of subjects. So when your desire is really, really strong and you summon something and you keep asking even though you're not really ready, and by that we mean balanced in energy and so forth. Esther, when she first began receiving us, said to Jerry, I feel like I got my toe in a light socket, because the energy was so strong. Jerry had been the primary summoner of it. Esther was the allower of it. But Jerry was summoning stronger than Esther was able really to allow, and so it was unsettling at first. There are some videos of that energy moving through Esther's body that you will never see because it felt a bit out of control. But as Esther relaxed a little bit and came to understand that it was something that they were asking for and it was something that was natural, and as through the process that we offered, she began focusing, doing more appreciation, raising her vibration on a consistent level, then she settled into it. Do you ever have the experience of sort of swooning where you're feeling sort of detached as the energy is coming?
Absolutely.
Well, what that's about is the same thing. The energy is there, it's mixing with the awareness that you have, but there is enough resistance within you that it's not quite settled in. But again, it's you summoning more than you're able to allow, or in that moment, not able to, but currently are allowing. In the early days, as Jerry and Esther were moving about, they met a man in Dallas who was experiencing what he described as sort of an out-of-control Kundalini energy. And he couldn't settle down, and he was wide-eyed and afraid of it. And it had come to him by attending a class where something was going on, and he was more open than he realized, and so he began receiving this energy, and he felt like he could not control it. And that was the most important thing that we wanted to convey to him, that it was coming by his asking. It was not something that was asserting into his experience. You understand that. In other words, you know that you're summoning. So this gives us an opportunity to talk to all of you about your desires and your beliefs, because that's really the same subject. When you desire something that you don't really believe, but you desire it in a really strong way, you begin attracting aspects of it into your experience, but it's a really bumpy ride because you're asking in a stronger way than you're allowing. Don't you sort of recognize that in yourself? When you hold yourself fixated on a subject where it's something that you think about a lot, but you're not relaxed and allowing it to flow, then it just feels a little awkward. And so this is why we began saying to all of you that step 1, which is asking, and step 3 are two very different steps. And that step 1 has created a vortex, so the asking has already taken place. So you don't have to keep putting emphasis upon the asking, because when you keep asking for something, it implies that you don't believe that you have it. And when you don't believe that you have it and you're asking for it, you're summoning it and blocking it, in essence, at the same time. Now, these are too strong of words for you. We would not use the word blocking it, but you are summoning it and hindering it, and summoning it and hindering it at the same time. So if you can accept that step 1 has already been taken care of, you've taken care of that on this subject a long, long time ago, and you don't have to keep asking. Just accept that it's been asked and answered, and now let your entire attention be upon being in the receiving mode, which just means relax in a non-asking format. Does that make sense? Can you stop asking for something? Well, by not asking for it, we just mean don't focus on it. Get focused upon other subjects. As you focus upon other subjects, there are many things that are important to you. As you focus on other subjects, it is our promise to you that because you have asked and because it is answered, that as you take your attention from the subject, the energy will begin to flow in what you will understand is a completely satisfying and manageable way.
You mean just meditation? Because
meditation is distracting from your attention, because when you stop thought, you stop thought. When you stop thought, you stop vibration, and so you stop any resistance. So that's one way. But you can't meditate all day, every day.
No.
So what you want to do is just find things that are of interest to you. Just get off that subject. Just get off that subject. Or when you're on it, say, asked and answered, now let's see what happens. Asked and answered, ready to receive at the right moment in time. And don't try to make it happen.
Okay, well, I do have one different angle then. I have done, I think what you're saying, for a few years. I was focusing on the meditation and the energy and stuff. And
well, that's how you allowed it. But you can't meditate all the time. So you've got to accomplish the same softness or absence of resistance in your wake state as you accomplish in your meditation state.
But I did take the last few years and refocus away from all of the spiritual or the energy work and whatnot, and into my outer arena, which is I'm a rock climber and developer, and that turned into a magnificent journey of just an amazing journey.
With
and
all of that
positive
energy flowing through you. In other words,
that was more than I could have asked for.
Yes. Can you accept that it's happening then?
I can, but I have kind of come to the point at this exact moment where I'm starting to let all of that go, because I want to know more about the energy and the inner stuff and the spirituality.
But this is what is so interesting to us about all of you. And you are really a good example to have this conversation with, because this spiritual connection that you are seeking is for the magnificent things like rock climbing. The physical world is the arena where all of this energy is focused now and manifesting. There's a tendency to think, well, we're material, we're physical, we're human, we're material, and over here someplace else is the spiritual stuff. And we say, the spiritual stuff is flowing to you and through you. And as you allow it to manifest, that's exactly what the intention is. That's what this time-space reality is. It's source, embodiment, it's source in physical form, you see. And so some of the physical form is disconnected from it, and so you misunderstand the perfection of this leading edge manifestation. But the material things, that's source. That's source.
Okay, I guess last spin on it. What about, in my case, which I guess maybe would be worthiness or whatever, what about someone like myself who would much rather be a spiritual master or something, being on a stage like yourself, or meditating in front of other people who are trying to achieve something, instead of being a rock climber?
You get to do whatever you want to do. You get to choose the way it flows.
I don't want to do that in a false way. I would have to have something to give, and just having some energy moving through me doesn't...
Hear this. It is not possible for you to do anything in a false way. That's not who you are.